New audio has surfaced as part of a lawsuit that accuses Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault.
So when I tell these stories, they don't believe. And some of them, yeah, I heard, I'm there. Yo, I have Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. When I come to work, yo, Gene, this what happened. Yo, Gene, did you hear that? Yo, Gene.
Witnesses have been contacted and notified by federal investigators that they may be called to testify in front of a grand jury.
You done birthed a lot of these fucking content creators.
Well, what happens here is that the federal government started a case with him. Apparently the search warrant that had his houses in Miami and LA was pre-planned already. They knew they were going to do that. So they have a much...
If the claims that Diddy Empire is collapsing are true, then watch the video to see why the public is talking about Diddy's most recent controversy and his legal troubles, which are already garnering media attention. This information could be the final straw that kills Cole's career. Learn what's in it and how Diddy is handling the backlash.
I heard the part about the putting in the car, and that's the same that when Kirk Burroughs wouldn't sign over his rights to Bad Boy, his 25%, that he was threatening to do. Kirk was like, yo, y'all nigga put that in the car and drive him around. So I could see him doing that with the putting in the car stuff, but I don't see him killing her for the article and all that, bro. But the putting her in the car, something like that, I could see him saying that to her.
So that's something that he told the Kirk Burroughs too then?
Yeah, he told Kirk Burroughs that when he was threatening with them baseball bats.
What's the story with that, yo?
I think it was like Kirk had to sign over Bad Boy. He had like 25% of Bad Boy, but for them to get the deal, everything had to be in one lump thing. Like somebody couldn't owe 25%, somebody couldn't owe him for Puff to do the deal. So Kirk had to sign over his shares in order for them to do the deal, which I didn't never understand. It wasn't my business to understand it. But Kirk ended up signing over it back to Diddy with the promise that he was going to get it back once they do the whole thing with Clyde Davis and everything. And Kirk had to be threatened in order to do it. And that's was with it was no real baseball bats. You know those mini baseball bats you get from the games back in the day? Those little short baseball bats, they used to give them back in the day when we was growing up. I don't think they do that anymore. You know, so Puff threatened Kirk with that, a couple other dudes, and told me, you're gonna take this long ride or you're gonna give up that percentage of the company.
And that's when Kirk Burroughs, he signed it over, he was scared?
Yeah, he's scared. What else you gonna do?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, to hear that from you, that confirms it. Because when people hear this, they start to believe that, it's being made up and, people going overboard with the lies. But, to hear that from you.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's the whole thing about it is that. But then, some people, they go by faith and other people go by sight. You know what I'm saying? I live by faith, brother. See, nobody believed he was the man that he was until they seen him running down the hall, throwing that little girl against the wall, throwing her on the floor, and start kicking her like she was somebody's soccer ball. They had to see that to believe the evil in him. So when I tell these stories, they don't believe. And some of them, yeah, I heard, I'm there. Yo, I have Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. When I come to work, yo, Gene, this what happened. Yo, Gene, did you hear that? Yo, Gene, da-da-da-da-da. I'm looking at this nigga like, for real? Wow. So now everybody think that because I talk about it, that I was a part of it and I saw it. Not everything. Did we have to rough some cats up? Yeah. I'm for that. Back in the day, I'm for that. Whatever. Sue's Rendezvous was gladiator school for me. I love that, especially when dudes start talking that stuff and what they gonna do. That's a younger part of Gene. When we doing them parties, I'm at the front door and dudes are talking that smack. I'm for that. That was a younger Gene. These are just stories of my life. It's a difference. So when Puff did some of those things like that, yeah. But I'm not going to be involved in him hurting somebody's daughter, drugging somebody's daughter, or raping somebody's daughter. Not Gene Deal. I got daughters of my own. I got sisters. No, you're not doing that. So when these guys make up that shit out here on these content creators and want to believe this and say that.
Get ready for the T-security camera footage purporting to show shady dealings, including heated conversations with people who aren't exactly his best friends, has been leaked from one of Diddy's properties. I have inside information that the feds obtained the footage, so be prepared for that. Diddy has become agitated over this. Due to legal concerns, I can't say too much, but there are allegations that the tape shows Diddy engaging with some questionable persons. There is intrigue around the way the footage was discovered. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is taking the footage seriously, having their top experts confirm every detail. From what I hear, the footage passes all of their tests with flying colors. FBI was diligently checking Diddy's security systems as part of a routine investigation into his recent controversies when they discovered this shocking information.
We have learned from two sources that potential witnesses have been contacted and notified by federal investigators that they may be called to testify in front of a grand jury. Now, there is no timeline for when this may happen. We are hearing from sources that the investigation is very much still underway. We remember back in late March when two of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided. That was the start of this criminal investigation, and now with our reporting that this could go to the grand jury, this is absolutely the biggest escalation in this investigation and gives some indication that authorities are looking towards a possible indictment. Now, as you mentioned, there have been a slew of lawsuits against the music mogul. He faces 8, 7 of which are directly accusing him of sexual assault. I hear from a source that many of these accusers who have filed these civil suits have been brought in for questioning, some of them being called in numerous times. We hear that many of these potential witnesses have been cooperating with these investigators, some even offering up evidence that they believe could be of note for this investigation.
Elizabeth, the majority of the plaintiffs in the civil suits, they've now been interviewed by federal investigators in the criminal probe. We know the LAPD previously said that they couldn't bring charges based on that 2016 Cassie video because of the statute of limitations. What could federal investigators be looking at here?
That's absolutely right. Because of the statute of limitations, that provides really a blockade for many of these accusers. But we do know that this federal investigation, which to your point, Boris, is of criminal nature, is largely based on the accusations that are in these many mounting lawsuits. So this is a criminal investigation at this point. Of course, we remember that when Diddy's homes were raided, that his attorneys called it a gross overuse of military force. They called it a witch hunt. We know that Diddy has denied many of these allegations that have come against him, although he hasn't responded to all of them. So at this point, it is an investigation. We have to wait to see where this may go. But again, this is a large escalation now that we know that potential witnesses have been notified that they do want to bring them to testify in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. So much more to come, but also, another thing that we have to watch out for, Boris, as these current cases are being litigated, are more accusers going to come forward? There has been a constant domino effect since November when that first lawsuit from Cassie came out, and now
Convicted Diddy may exchange his pricey wardrobe for an orange jumpsuit. But here's the catch: the video shows Diddy at the Jeets party and raises questions about possible involvement given his contacts in the industry. Implications are huge, with potential charges ranging from money laundering to conspiracy. These aren't the kind of charges you can easily dismiss with a good lawyer and a fat check, as you might think. The leaked tape may be the smoking gun that the FBI needs to link to several major crimes. Diddy has faced difficult circumstances in the past and has always prevailed, but this time is different because the Fed appears to have substantial proof and Diddy appears anxious.
Who was actually in the studio with him said that Homeland Security brought him in, and this dude is he's a fraternity brother of mine, but he's also a producer, or engineer, and he was in the studio the night one of the girls made a complaint. The night something happened to one of the girls, and he told the lawyer everything that the girl told him, which was crazy. And Homeland Security brought him in. So he told them they wouldn't let him know what they were doing, but it seemed like that something might happen before Labor Day.
Wow, before Labor Day?
Yeah. They working hard on this, bruh. They working hard. You got to realize they working with a lot of stuff. They working with the taxes. They got lawyers for the taxes. They got lawyers for the complaints for the what you call that? SA sexual assault complaints. They got lawyers for what else? The drugs, the gun trafficking. They got different lawyers working on all those things, bro. And they got witnesses.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the girl saying to the lawyers?
Oh, the girl has said that that same shit that happened to Lil Chris, he gave him a bottle of champagne or wine or whatever like that, and once she drank it, she became a certain way and found herself giving him a fellatio in the studio in front of people. The dude said he walked out because he was appalled. He had just had a daughter. So he walked out. So he was appalled. That's what he told me. So I'm like, damn, team. He said, yeah. So the same thing that she told her lawyer, he told the lawyer and Homeland Security. And he was actually there, graduate, a college graduate. You understand? Working, good dude, perfect witness. He told, the engineer told Homeland Security and her lawyer the same exact thing she told them. He said he was appalled at what he saw and walked out. So they got witnesses. They got witnesses, bro. They have a lot, people want to make up stuff, but they got people who was there that was witness and speaking about it. See, people get mad because I'm saying it first. They hearing it from me. But I could care less how somebody else feel or think. I'm not here to praise Diddy. No, I'm not. Like Brutus told the sentence, I'm here to bury him. He did enough wrong for people around us, to people around us. He did enough wrong to their mother. He did enough wrong to them. He need to pay the piper. I don't care what nobody say. You can feel whatever you want to feel. You can call Gene Deal whatever you want to call Gene Deal. You can say whatever you want to say. But I came here November the 18th, 2018, and I told y'all from Jump Street, I didn't know I was going to get a platform like Art of Dialogue. I didn't know I was going to get a platform like MREC, different people who helped me build this up. Did I have my own show? Everybody want to come here and think that I just talk about Diddy. You come to the Gene Deal show, you see a different things. I talk about everything. But when I'm come to do an interview, I answer the questions. And my thing of it right here is this, is that I'm not here to praise somebody. A real man don't hold or bite his tongue for nobody when injustice has been done to people, first of all, that he got love for. And second of all, for when somebody know that somebody is wrong. I've been saying the same shit since 97, Mighty. I was the one in there holding Big's mom's hand while she crying. These people come over here, I initiated a lot of this stuff for these YouTubers to go to their platforms and talk about stuff, because they sit around and talk about stuff that I didn't say, that they didn't heard on the Art of Dialogue. You didn't birth a lot of these fucking content creators.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, a lot of platforms, did start talking about it after, we've been talking about it for years. So, yeah, you're right about that.
And they were scared at first, Mighty. They were scared to say anything.
But my thing is this, right? With all the money and fame that Diddy has, why is he out here drugging females to get fellatio? You would think, him being who he is, he don't got to do that.
Bruh, he's a different dude from when I was around them and people was like Suge even said that Puff is different now. You understand? When he went to California, man, that's a whole nother stuff, man. Dudes in New York wouldn't even, he probably was doing a little of that stuff right there in New York around people and things like that, but he knew who to do that around. You understand what I'm saying? He knew who to do shit like that around. And when you don't have no conversation, he said it before, he don't know how to talk to women. He don't have no conversation for Jennifer Lopez. I seen him, I was there when they had conversations. She would say some fly shit to him. You know what the perfect day would be with me and you just sitting out here, eating, just sitting out here, having a light lunch, drinking some wine, and just talking and talking and talking. She would say stuff like that to him. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga be looking like he's stuck on stupid. So I've seen him have conversations. He would say to Wolf and them, yo, man, I don't know how to talk to girls. But when you got that kind of money, you shouldn't have to know how to talk to girls.
Diddy is an exemplar of since Diddy has a history of drama. Ed is understandably shocked by the film, which has left him terrified since it was released. Close sources say that at first he reacted angrily, hurling phones and yelling at his staff with a level of stress they've never seen before. Diddy's legal team is working nonstop to spin the story, but even they seem concerned this time around. Insiders claim they're struggling to find a way out of this mess. Notably, Diddy has stopped making public remarks. This is strange for him because he usually flourishes in the spotlight. Steam issued however it was a weak attempt at damage management, citing unfounded charges and adhering to the closed-door judicial procedure. It's tight, and we don't know how Diddy will approach this issue. Rumor has it that Diddy is suspicious of everyone, thinking someone in his inner circle has betrayed him, and is therefore paranoid. The state of Diddy is getting worse. He is losing options as his business partners distance themselves from him. Crisis consultants handle presidential controversies and may even depart the nation to avoid further financial burdens, yet they are unable to resolve the issue at hand. Will he settle through negotiation or litigation? The empire of Diddy is in peril.
From a makeshift recording studio on the yacht where the alleged assault happened. This is the latest in a series of lawsuits filed against the rap mogul and businessman. Both men, father and son, deny the allegations against them. CNN national correspondent Camila Bernal joining me live with details on this. Camila, what more are you learning?
Hey, Fred. So in this audio that CNN has listened to, you can specifically hear the accuser who alleges that she was being forced to take this tequila shot that she believed was laced with drugs. And in the audio, you can hear her asking Christian Combs if she was being drugged. And he answers, take the shot. Now, just to put things into perspective, the accuser was a crew member on the yacht. She was a bartender. And she says that shortly after this incident with the shot, she says she was cornered in a room. She says things became aggressive and physical, and then says that Christian Combs forced himself on her, and then says that it wasn't until another employee on the yacht came into this room that the abuse that she is alleging in this 31-page lawsuit stopped. And she says it only stopped because that person came into the room. Now, I want to read part of what the accuser's attorney is saying right now. What he's saying is, defendant Sean Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. It resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and for her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. Now, why are they naming Diddy in all of this? And it is partially because he was leasing that yacht. Now, he is not accused of sexual assault, but he is accused in this lawsuit of liability and aiding and abetting because he was the one renting the yacht. Now, his attorney, or actually the attorney for both men, also speaking out and denying these allegations, saying this complaint is filled with manufactured lies and irrelevant facts. We will be filing a motion to dismiss this outrageous claim. Again, they have continued to say that this is something that they will fight, that they are innocent in all of this, so we'll have to wait and see how this plays out in court, if it gets to court or if it gets settled at some point, which has been the case with a previous lawsuit. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens as Diddy and his son continue to say they're innocent, and the victims here continue to say that they were sexually assaulted, Fred.
And so while music mogul Combs isn't accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, he has been accused of a range of sexual misconduct in other separate lawsuits. How might that play into this?
Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the lawsuits was settled, but there are others that are currently pending, right? And so there's a lot of the details that we've learned, and attorneys say that there's audio and video of these alleged crimes, or at least some of the alleged crimes. You're seeing some of those cases there. The one with Cassie was the one that was settled, but there are other ones that we'll still have to wait and see how they play out. And of course, we all saw just last month as Diddy's homes in both Miami and Los Angeles were the target of a federal investigation, and we saw that all play out on video last month. But again, it's important to point out that Diddy continues to say that he is innocent. They said this was a...
Diddy insists that he is innocent, claiming that this was a Diddy might not be able to get away with it this time, but here's the real deal given his connections throughout Hollywood. Who knows who he might drag down with him. As for the public fallout, fans are deserting Diddy left and right, and his reputation is in the gutter. Diddy's world is collapsing quickly, and the legal storm that is engulfing him is about to intensify into a hurricane. The streets are ablaze with rumors of serious charges like money laundering and conspiracy, and the feds are not playing around this time.
They went to sit down with their lawyers and everything like that. So now, he used that as a ploy. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all publishing back, but y'all gotta sign this NDA, non-disclosure. Y'all can't talk about nothing about Bad Boy. Y'all can't talk about me. Y'all can't talk about nothing I did or Janice Combs Publishing, Justin Publishing, or whatever he got his company's name in, or Sony, Universal, none of that. He did that for a reason. He did that to shut them up. But then he went on this whole hiatus that, okay, I'm doing this to get back because this is the right thing to do. No, you did that because you didn't want those people to come out on you. And now, if they do, you take that publishing back that you gave them, which was, okay, they say it's worth something. It's worth something, but it ain't worth what it used to be.
Yeah, she also said in this documentary that, some people are worried that, if Diddy, if he make it through this, he might retaliate and do something to him.
I don't care about that. I don't think about that. And I'm never afraid of no man. You understand? And if she said that that's her own opinion, what I do know is this, is that he will never be what he was back when Big was alive and when Mason and they did that whole Bad Boy for Life tour. He would never be that individual known like that again. And that's fine with me. I don't care if he ever do a day in jail. You understand? That's not for me. But I know for a fact he will never ever be what he once was based on what we know about him now. And I'm fine with that.
I mean, for you've been speaking on Diddy since the early 2000s. So, I mean, if he was going to do something to you, he would have been did it. So, I'm sure he ain't going to do nothing to you, so.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But my head is always on the swivel. You understand? Every time I step my foot out of my house, I don't take nothing for granted. I don't judge a man by his side. I never have. I never will. I don't judge a man by the color of his skin. You understand? I judge a man by his character and how he come at me, no matter what size he is. So me is different because people look at me as being the catalyst of giving people the courage to come out and...
As the scandal unfolds, many are speculating about Diddy's future. Some think he will keep a low profile in the hopes that the controversy will go away, but the footage that has been made public makes that unlikely.
It's a term in the legal field that you could indict a ham sandwich, but the Southern District of New York has a 98.2 conviction rate. All right, for those who don't know, if you got 100 people, only 1.28 or something like that, 1.8, only 1.8 has won against them. So now, what they do, they already got the witnesses, they already got the people, because let me just say something. With the sex trafficking thing, it only takes one witness to convince the jury. One witness. And we know who that witness is going to be. Cassie. She filed a civil suit against him. So it only takes one, in the sex trafficking charge, it only takes one witness. Now we got other people like Jonathan Odie, who was one of the sex workers, that he gave a testimony, or well, he gave some information to some agents that he was working, doing sexual acts with Cassie, cross states, going back and forth, this, that, and the third. So it only takes one witness. So now, the reason they haven't went after him because there's more to get into. It's more to get into. It's not only the sex trafficking, it's the guns, the alleged drugs. And I'm saying alleged because they haven't came out with any formal charges yet. But when they come out with some charges, bruh, and you hit it, the Southern District of New York do not play. And people don't play with them. So I don't understand why this stuff ever even got to this point, but it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. The reason they haven't came down and got him yet, they going through his taxes. You hear what he said? They had all the people that he did business with. That they're gonna go through everything that he did with a fine-tooth comb. And when they set that and they get what they call discovery to his lawyers, he either say, I'm gonna take the time, because if he go to court with it, 9 times out of 10, he gonna spend the rest of his life behind bar. So the reason they haven't did it at this point, it's a lot of paperwork, bro. They got a lot of people working different angles. They got the drug angle, they got the tax angle, they got the what else? They say the drugs, the tax, and then they got the guns that were found. They got to do a trace on the guns that they were found in the house. And then if you got 250 cameras, there's a lot of footage that them agents got to go through. So they got a lot of work to do, bro. They got a lot of work. What they took, how many years to indict Keefe D? They took a lot of years to indict Keefe D. And now he's sitting in jail. So they got a lot of work to do, bro. And it ain't gonna happen overnight. So I would think that probably in the next two months or so, you might be looking at something, bro.
And you said that Diddy, he got over 250 cameras?
He had over 200, they found over 250 cameras in his house, man.
Damn.
Allegedly, that's what they were saying.
So you do believe that Diddy is going to prison?
Oh, he going to jail, bro. And yo, and I don't wish jail on nobody, on the for real. I don't wish jail on nobody. You understand? But they already got their star witness. And you only, for one charge for the sex trafficking, you only need one witness. One witness. That's crazy. I don't believe R. Kelly. You see what they did to R. Kelly? He went to jail for sex trafficking. He was dating those girls. Those girls was living at his house. Those girls was going back and forth with him willfully. How the hell did he get sex trafficking? And Diddy don't. Based on Cassie.
Others advise a calculated move like entering rehab or taking a break from family focus, but with the feds closing in, that may not be enough.
This could mean.
Well, what happens here is that the federal government started a case with him. Apparently the search warrant that had his houses in Miami and LA was pre-planned already. They knew they were going to do that. So they have a much bigger case. Right now with the guns, they're going to check them, they're going to trace them, see if they were used in any crimes. They're going to go over anything about cooperators that are cooperating with them. They're going to be talking to a lot of people about certain criminal acts that he might have committed, and then go from there.
And what about the videos?
Well, they're going to sift through those videos. They're going to look at them and then see if there's any criminality on those videos, and then they'll go from there.
So what do you think? I mean, it just seems like the house of cards might fall for Diddy right now.
It's not looking that great. Right now, I know that he has high-powered attorneys, and with all these allegations that are coming out against him and against other people, a lot of people are starting to be very nervous about what's going on.
When you arrested Diddy back in the day, what kind of interaction did you have with him?
More professional. I mean, he knew who I was. I knew who he was. And whenever he got into trouble, it was like I was like his detective. So, you know, I always had to come to the precinct of whatever happened, and then to deal with him, to make sure that everything was good with the detectives there, and then everything else going on.
We should mention that Diddy has denied any wrongdoing. As of right now, he's saying he had nothing to do with anything. So
right now, it's just an investigation.
Right. But it seems like all of this came to light after his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, alleged that she was in a very abusive relationship with him.
That accelerated things. I mean, his settlement with her and other criminal acts that she alleged have happened, and then other people started coming forward, so it's like a house of cards.
Yeah, and I think there's several people right now that are alleging that they were in allegedly compromising positions at Diddy's house, being forced to do things that they didn't want to do.
There are a lot of things that are coming out right now, and what's going to happen is that the government's going to go through all of these things that they have uncovered, and they're going to see if there's any criminality. If any charges are to be brought, they will bring them later.
So let's talk about this, because I'm not like into the weeds of all this.
Okay.
But apparently TMZ is reporting that Suge Knight, who's in prison right now, right? And he's
in prison. Yes, he's in jail. For he ran over an individual in Los Angeles and he committed a homicide.
Okay. So TMZ is reporting that Suge Knight has said to Diddy right now, your life is in danger.
Yes. Okay, what he's probably saying, I can't speak for what he's saying, because of everything that's going on right now, there's probably a lot of people that are upset about what's going on. And then, you know, even yesterday I started seeing things online where people are starting to make threats towards 50, and Diddy is starting to go back. And this is how it starts in hip-hop. It starts right on social media, and then it goes into the streets.
It does. I mean, you know, you don't hear about that too much. I mean, back in the day, yes, right? There was a lot of that.
Back in the days, you had diss records where people would just do diss records, and one rapper would talk about the other rapper. Now they go to clubs and places, and this is where they meet, and then there's always collateral damage.
Okay, so there's also been talk. I didn't realize like there was this Camp Diddy. We're hearing that Usher, when he was a young man just starting in the business, he went to Diddy's house for an extended period of time. Even Justin Bieber was brought there. I think he was 15 years old. And now we're kind of looking at their interviews that they gave years ago about being at Diddy's house and what transpired. We're looking at it differently.
Well, they are, because they were young men at the time. So with all the sex trafficking allegations that are out right now, this is what everybody's looking at. They're looking at the past and the present.
So we're hearing that Diddy is not going to be arrested anytime soon. What do you think is going on in the meantime?
Well, the government is building their case. Apparently what they're doing is they're going through all the witnesses or cooperators that they have, all the evidence that they've uncovered, and they're going to see if there's any charges that are going to be brought up. But you'll see something happening very soon. This is not over.
I was about to say, and the Southern District of New York?
And that's one of the most prestigious districts. I just testified in the Eastern District about a month ago, so I know.
So you know these guys don't fool around?
No, they don't fool around at all.
Tarek Parker, thank you so much for being here. The hip-hop cop weighing in this morning on the Diddy investigation. Appreciate it.